Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome to another episode of Bears Fans Talk. I almost said Bears Fans Podcast. We need to change this name. But I'm here with the main event, Kevin Haggerty.
Let's go.
Let's go. Johnny C. If you guys are new here, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We've got a couple of comments from strangers. It's actually kind of like jarring, and I want to get to them at the end of the episode. But like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the podcast. And also, Kevin, 100 subscribers.
If we get to 100 subscribers, we are going to the draft.
Let's go.
In Detroit.
And we are going to watch the Bears, whatever their decision is, screw this up in person. So get us to 100 subscribers.
Come on. We're positive Bears fans. I am positive.
To be perfectly honest with you, there's just nothing in my heart that I feel more. I don't know if the Bears are going to keep Justin Fields. I don't know if they're going to draft Caleb Williams. I just know they're going to get it wrong. In my heart of hearts, that is the only scenario I can envision.
I was texting you the other day about it too. Like, I think that all these people that are hating on Caleb Williams, they self-conscious, they setting themselves up, right? Because more likely than not, Caleb Williams, just the numbers and the probability alone says he is not a generational talent.
Sure, yeah.
Just by nature, you can only have one generational talent.
Yeah.
So, by them saying the Bears are going to screw it up, the Bears are going to get it wrong, blah, 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 they're literally just pessimistic Bears fans.
Yeah.
And I'm here to change that culture.
Are you?
I am single-handedly going to change the culture.
That is something I do want to talk about.
The Bears are going to get it right. Okay. Whatever Ryan Pace does, he's going to get it right. Or Ryan Poles, sorry.
Yeah.
Poles.
Oh. Ooh.
I know.
You're going to talk about optimism and put that juju out there. But anyway, so what I want to talk about, we are officially in rumor season. The Bear season has been over for about 6 weeks now at this point. Has it been longer than that?
Since they lost the Cleveland game.
I don't think it's been much longer than that. Yeah, 5 or 6 weeks. But we are officially in rumor season.
Sure.
And big rumor came out from Colin Cowherd about 4 or 5 days ago. I never had big opinions on him. 4 or 5 days ago, and he says unequivocally, Caleb Williams from the camp does not want to go to Chicago.
Okay.
And that got major headlines everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember I was watching the Pat McAfee show, and he was just I think he was a little incredulous to it, but he's just well, Colin Cowherd's a USC guy, also been announced to me. It's apparently Colin Cowherd's got USC connections. Yeah. So he's a guy that we kind of got to listen, but I think at the same time, Pat McAfee also called, we are a week away, a week being after the Super Bowl, from bullshit season.
Sure.
So rumor mill season.
Sure.
So when you hear that,
yeah.
Because obviously, if you knew anything about this,
yeah,
you might know what happened afterwards. But you say you're listening to Colin Cowherd and you hear Caleb Williams does not want to go to Chicago. What's your rapid response to that?
Not surprised.
Not surprised. Why are you not surprised?
So on the surface, if I'm Caleb, right, and I'm there's probably better. Chicago's a good market to go to begin with, but I probably want to go to either stay in LA or go to New York. Honestly, if I had to pick, if I'm that, just for obviously New York's the largest.
But we're not talking about what your ideal situation is. I'm sure every player when they're entering the draft, the connotation for what Collard said is everyone was panicking, and I think maybe it's just kind of the media cycle just kind of fueling itself. People were panicking that he was going to pull a John Elway or an Eli Manning and be I don't want to go there, and I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. Okay.
So don't draft me.
Okay, so that's different from what I was saying.
Yeah.
But you're saying I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't want to go to Chicago. Being an outdoor team, stuff like that to me isn't appealing. I played in California, man. I want to go chill.
Yeah.
I want to be in good weather. That's what I would be thinking if I'm him. The Bears don't have a winning track record. Their last time they won was 85. Right? They fuck up quarterbacks time and time again. I wasn't surprised. Initially, okay, I get it.
Okay. I'm going to rebut a couple of those comments, but then but first I just want to go into what happened. I think it was probably literally 24 hours later. And I think that is most of what I really want to talk about. It's not necessarily the Caleb Williams drama, but Cowherd goes on his show and was oh, guys, the Caleb Williams camp called me back. And they said, wait, we don't want anyone to think that we're anti-Bear or anti-Chicago.
Yes.
So Cowherd walks those back drastically. And I watched that video and I'm just oh, okay. So whatever. It was all just kind of maybe it was kind of more what you were saying.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams camp is just they're not our ideal situation, which is fair.
Yeah.
Because you're right. The Bears have no track record of putting making a superstar quarterback and developing a quarterback. But at the same time, I still think in terms of what could happen for Caleb Williams, we're better than like the next several alternatives.
I mean, it's not the most ideal situation is kind of like Patrick Mahomes, what he did.
Yeah.
Right. Or like, honestly, no, the most ideal situation is going to the Packers, sitting for 3 years behind a superstar quarterback.
I don't think that's the ideal situation. Caleb Williams would never want that. I think if you're a superstar rookie, I don't think you're looking at your situation like, I want to sit for a couple of years.
I don't know. The NFL is a really fast game.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I feel like you sometimes need a bigger body of work to garner yourself like the big contract afterwards.
Oh man, Aaron Rodgers is pretty good, and Jordan Love seems pretty good.
Yeah, but when is Jordan Love's? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right.
The model works,
but at the same time, I don't think that's what most people are hoping for.
I mean, what you're hoping for, what you get, are two different things.
But
if you want to have a long career, a successful career, it's not a bad route to go. Instead of get thrown in there and get your ass kicked.
But I'm saying if you're a number one overall pick,
you gotta play.
But your situation is typically that you're going to the worst team in the NFL, which the Bears are not. The Bears were a 7-9 team, and they have that arguably better. Could have easily been better. A game and a half from the playoffs. So you're coming to a team that is on the up and up, which is not what first round picks typically do.
First overall.
Yeah, first overall. And you have a number one wide receiver.
Yep.
The clear focus is going to be rebuilding the offensive line, and you have a defense that is going to be able to back you up.
Well, the problem though is that because I did listen to some video that was brought up, but the coaching staff situation to me is a huge question.
Yes.
We've talked about that already, as far as with Eberflus, with not, and I'm a little upset that the Bears didn't go out and I'm in on Eberflus, but at the same time though could have just start fresh if you're going with Caleb, and they didn't. And that's fine, but what I'm saying though is it is a risk. I do want to. So it is a risk, though. So
I want to get onto that more. So where the Cowherd situation gets even more interesting to me is he. So the video that I showed you, we watched the video. It was a clip of him being interviewed, a phone interview on AM radio 760 The Score. Yeah. That's not one of the ones I listened to, but he was on that, and they were clearly not. He's clearly not a friend of the show.
Yeah.
That was the vibe I got. He was almost very defensive and things like that.
He has to be though, because he's a national media presence on ESPN, getting interviewed by some local bros from fucking.
But think about why that happened. And I think he might have been on ESPN Chicago. I was listening to them earlier today, and he might have been on. But think about why that happened. Why?
Because he has to backtrack the comments. Because if he does go to the Bears, he needs to salvage. Caleb wants to salvage his reputation. He doesn't want to tarnish his reputation before he even shows up to the
So that's kind of it. But why does Colin Cowherd care about Caleb Williams' reputation?
Well, he obviously, with the ties to USC.
Yeah.
So think about it. The USC's a pretty pedigree. He also he doesn't want to burn bridges or burn sources.
Exactly. So that's exactly what it is. And the way and when I watched his initial show where he made the first backtrack, he was like, "Oh, Caleb's camp said we don't want to be pegged as anti-Chicago." I have a feeling that Caleb Williams' camp, and they said that he called them, they talked afterwards and say, "Hey, that's not true." I think they were like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I think that they came hot and were just like,
sure.
We didn't say anything like that. They might have. I get the sense, and I think, and Cowherd in this video that we watched, he almost kind of said this, my show's 3 hours long.
Yeah, I know.
And I just kind of need to say things. I think he just straight up lied about the connotation of Caleb Williams is not going to go to Chicago. I think it's something he just completely fabricated.
Or he did hear it and he overshared some information.
No,
could have been.
I think what the Caleb Williams camp, and I'm going to have about as much journalistic integrity as Colin Cowherd in the situation, because I'm just guessing. I think what the Caleb Williams camp said is there's some question marks about coaching.
Yeah,
and I think Cowherd ran with that, because when he's doing this backtrack tour on these local radios, he wouldn't really say he really dug in his heels, okay, maybe they didn't say this, but maybe they should, because he really, because they said in this video, he's I don't think Chicago is a good situation for him to land in, and
it's a good situation
for the reasons that I said. Yes, I mean he's got some team around him.
Yeah,
we're not miserable this year down the stretch, especially. But the one thing that is kind of nagging in my mind
It's the coaching.
is the coaching situation.
Not only the coaching situation, but like the divisional too. Like coming to the NFC, like we've talked about this before. The NFC North is going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's a tough division.
Cowherd did mention that.
It's you play a lot of games outdoors too.
Yeah,
like, it's different weather here. Like. I'm not saying that's why we don't have a good quarterback, because look at Patrick Mahomes and negative.
No, I've never seen the great ones really be bothered by the weather.
But I'm just saying though, but like it can't not impact you when you're a Cali boy, when you've been playing in USC in South Beach in Southern California. Like I don't know, I get it, and plus like the marketability. Like look at Justin Fields' ads. The dude's on faces on Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
think that's what Caleb Williams wants?
Yeah, and so like
I think he wants to go be driving a Beamer or like a Lamborghini and doing that.
Well, one of the things the camp told Cowherd in this read track was like he wants to be in a big like pressurized city. He wants to be in a big market with fans that care. Yes.
Oh, we care.
Yes. Oh yeah.
My buddy Marcus, used to get these tickets like 50-yard line, like second row. Yeah. The stuff that the fans said to Mitch, I am just like, oh my God, how do you even come up with those words?
Yeah, and like
they care. Yeah, those fans care.
Yeah. And one thing that's kind of endearing, after this came out, this kind of fake news. Caleb Williams changed his Twitter picture. Do you see this?
No.
So there's a childhood picture of him. Like this is immediately after that news broke, of him wearing a shirt with a bear on it.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think it's there anymore, but I think it was like immediately after the fact that got some news.
The other thing that I thought was interesting about the whole thing, so like the Senior Bowl, obviously Caleb didn't have to play in the Senior Bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
But something that I thought that Colin Cowherd said was interesting was that Caleb's like kind of like a behind the scenes type of guy.
Yeah.
And then
he's low key.
Yeah, low key, where his father's kind of like out in the open.
Yeah.
But then he made this comment like, good thing he's in LA because he can get lost in LA. Did you catch that?
So
I didn't really get that, because what does that really mean?
So what that means is like, I mean, because like the Baker, or not the Baker, the Baker Johnny Manziel documentary.
Yeah.
He thought that like being in a small market like Cleveland put him in a fish bubble, like everyone was watching him all the time. Whereas like if you're in LA, you could in theory probably go out to a restaurant and not 90% of the people are going to know exactly who you are when you walk in. So I think that's kind of what he was saying. I think that's kind of.
I thought it was more like he can kind of like.
Oh, like go out and party and.
Kind of like not. I didn't really understand the context of like that. I thought it was more like, oh, he can kind of party, do what he wants. Get like his LA scene is much different from Chicago and from New York scene. Like, the LA scene it's very different. It's like very vibe-ish, and like coming to Chicago, we're a lot different than LA folks.
I don't know. Like at the end of the day, like a lot of people are talking about like his toughness and his ability to lead the team. Like if we draft Caleb Williams and he just stands at that podium and just says something along the lines of like, I'm ready to get to work, amongst all the backlash, like people are already commenting on all of his stuff, being like, the Bears don't want you on his Instagram.
That's fucking
which is brutal. Like honestly, if things don't work out and something bad happens with these draft picks, we got no one to blame for ourselves, because we are like the most dumb fan base ever right now.
But here's also what I think, John. I think a lot of like not the unintelligent, like think about like with politics too. Who are the most vocal?
So it's the vocal minority. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, you would think.
I mean, like it's just kind of like there's just these fans. I hate to say it, but like some of those guys that are commenting probably aren't, sharpest tools in the shop that are bored and just want to comment on a video to cause ruckus.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But in terms of toughness,
we've been saying tank for Caleb.
We have been
beginning, and I'm saying we're confident Bears fans.
But even in our real lives, I don't think everyone agrees with us. Like even people that we know.
Who couple people, and they're people who like to stir the pot.
Maybe. I was actually watching a Twitch stream. This guy named Thuni who plays Madden, who's like pretty. Is
that why you're beating me in Madden recently? Because you've been watching Twitch streams?
Yeah, I guess that's why it is.
Wait, so guys, I used to kick his ass, and now all of a sudden Johnny's been running up the score on me the last few times. He's not even commenting on it.
I mean, I can't prove to you that I haven't spent the last 60 hours watching streams, but I haven't. The point of the story is I commented on the video because he's a Vikings fan.
Okay.
So he's knowledgeable enough, but also removed. And I'm just like, what would you do with the Bears' first-round pick? And he answered, like he says on the stream, he's just like, if I were the Chicago Bears, I'm keeping Fields and building around him, which I was shocked because, like,
Well, that's what I would do if I was a Vikings fan too.
I guess you're right.
I mean, that's like destroying from the inside out.
So Kyle Hurd, I mean, like this interview on 7-6, there's like just some weird tension to it, and I really do feel like he needed to like give himself some credibility. So he actually gave them a little bit of a scoop. And that scoop was that his people at USC, and he said this isn't speculation, he made this sound like this is absolutely true, said that 5 NFL teams have told them that they are going to make offers for that first round pick to the Bears.
Yeah. So that's not surprising. I think
5 is a lot.
No, it's not. Not for his. If he's as advertised, then that's. Like, if you can get a franchise quarterback, Sean, I'd give up the whole draft for it.
That's true.
If you're telling me that we can get Patrick Mahomes, I would give up the whole fucking draft book.
You would hope
25. Too.
You would hope the Bears wouldn't take any offers. So I guess it really comes down to like what the Bears when they meet him, when they do a review of his tape, like do they really think that he is that generational guy? And then at that point, it shouldn't matter what they're going to offer.
Yeah. So here's a funny thing. So like after the video, I was on the train ride home, and I just like to play the next video. It was like an epic comeback of Caleb Williams when he was in Oklahoma. He was a true freshman, and he was down like 21 points to Texas at Texas. He was a true freshman. Dude came back and won the game. I'm not saying he's a true freshman. I'm just like watching him like, shit, he's fast.
I think
he's accurate.
So one of these days I'm going to like take, because I still like, in my heart of hearts, like I'm not the biggest college football guy. I don't follow it week to week.
Yeah.
I follow my team, which is the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
But I still want to do a deeper dive in him. We're going to do like a video. We broke down Justin Fields at the beginning of the season. I want to kind of do the same thing with Caleb Williams. But the last thing I want to say is, 5 teams. I kind of speculated as to who those 5 teams might be. Sure. So I have a little list. I went through like all the starting quarterbacks and all the teams. Yeah. And in terms of who I think is in desperate need, like they got nothing at quarterback. Like they need to figure it out now and fast. It'd be the Denver Broncos. Yeah. I mean, who knows what Russ is doing? Las Vegas Raiders, who is currently like Aiden O'Connell,
who I have as a keeper for Purdue.
Bailey Zappi, maybe in New England.
Mac Jones too.
And then you got the Steelers, who it's like Mason Rudolph or Mitch or something. Like,
Kenny Pickett.
Oh, that's right. But is he? I guess he's been gone. He's been gone so long. I guess I forgot. Yeah. And then you got the Falcons.
So who's
Ritter? What's his name?
Desmond Ritter and Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. And then you got the Saints, which they could ride. I don't think didn't they just shoot him in the back of the head after that?
I loved it.
His coach did it.
Jamal Williams the touchdown.
Yeah. When they did that, I mean, I don't know. I felt like that was kind of cheap. I didn't love it, and I don't think he's going to be starting a game as a Saint ever again. So you got the Saints, you got the Giants.
Giants got their $90 million man.
I mean, they might need to ride out Danny Dimes.
They have to. They doubled down on that.
And then this might be some disrespect to Geno, but I said the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, how much longer are they going to keep that going? I mean, he's older. And then you obviously got the Washington Commanders.
There's got to be another team that we're missing.
Not really. Like, I mean, there's some that you could say.
He's 32, Geno Smith, by the way. I think he made the Pro Bowl.
There are some that you could say it might be time to move on, but like those are like the definite ones. Like, hey, you need to figure out your quarterback situation. Like, you need to figure it out right now.
I mean, so of that list, right? So I think a good one to talk about really quick would be the Washington Redskins.
Yes. So you mean the Washington Commanders?
Oh my gosh.
Oh god. Now
that's my second mistake. You got to bleep that out.
We need to take this video down. What was the first mistake?
Never mind. I didn't make that mistake, did I?
I don't think so.
The polls and the...
Oh, pace. Yeah, you did make that mistake. Well, I don't know. But, so big news came out. I mean, it was today or yesterday.
It was yesterday.
So Cliff Kingsbury, offensive coordinator to the Commanders. And people are linking that like as the Commanders are going to make a hard move for Caleb Williams.
Yep.
At the end of the day, like people make it seem like, it's a nail in the coffin for like the Caleb Williams going to the Bears, but it's still the Bears' decision. That's very much in the catbird seat.
That's who I wanted as the offensive coordinator, as the OC. This guy from Seattle seems like pretty strong, but without question, when you have a guy who worked with Caleb last year and the caliber as Cliff Kingsbury going to be the offensive coordinator. Now, granted, I know, so the quarterback up there is, what's his name? not Wolf.
Howell?
Sam Howell.
Howl at the Wolf.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. So Sam Howell, he led the league in interceptions, but he also threw a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah.
The boy can sling the rock.
When he played the Bears, I mean, we beat him, but he looked decent. Like I thought Howell was going to be pretty good.
Yeah, he can sling the rock. So like, I don't think that necessarily means, but that they're going to go for Caleb just to move up to one spot.
That is true. I mean, they did just. I mean, you want to talk about like bad situations to be in, bad organizations.
Yeah.
I mean, the Commanders are a pretty bad one, and they just drafted a quarterback. And was Howell a first-round pick last year?
I don't think
Maybe
it was
not.
first round.
He might not have been a first-round pick.
2 years ago, I think he was.
Was it 2 years? Oh, I thought he was a rookie this year. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Another team that could be looking is Tennessee Titans.
That could be true too. I mean, I didn't have them on that list.
That's why.
I said Will Levis. I was willing to give some grace. They might not have seen everything they need to see.
I think he saw.
I don't think they go aggressively for the first overall pick. I don't think they leverage their entire future after they just drafted a quarterback, I guess, in the second round.
Yeah.
Just saying. Last year.
Just saying that I knew there was someone you were missing.
I wouldn't put them on that list.
But if you can get a generational talent, back to that conversation, I would trade my whole draft board for a generational talent.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying, like, not even generational, but like elite quarterback play is how you win games.
That is true.
It's how you win games.
I want it so bad, man. I really do.
Me too. I've wanted it since the beginning.
And then the last bit of news, I guess the last bit of news is Luke Getsy to the Raiders.
So it was funny. So we talked about this a little bit pre-show. I mentioned that there's rumors that Justin Fields may go to Oakland, and what was your response to that?
Luke Getsy is in Oakland now, and that will never ever happen.
And what did he say in this interview?
So basically, the theoretical interview that I'm imagining, if I'm interviewing Luke Getsy, and I'm just like, so what happened in Chicago? Luke Getsy was definitely not like, oh, Justin Fields, or no, if they ask you, so what is your feeling on Justin Fields? Luke Getsy is not like, oh, he's a great quarterback, I just couldn't call the right plays for him. Like, I did a really bad job of managing him. Yeah. No, Luke Getsy is probably saying, like, my system works. He wasn't the right quarterback for it, or maybe even more maliciously says like, oh, Justin Fields is not the guy.
Yeah.
So
he's not him.
Yeah, and you had said he's not him, and you had said that maybe that was a landing spot for Justin Fields was the Raiders.
Potentially.
Well, yeah, it's possible.
It would be, in my opinion, though. I think that would be a great spot for him. Who's the head coach over there? Not Randall L. Gosh. I forgot his name. He's like Deuce Staley.
Yeah.
Deuce Staley's the head coach over there. Like, he's got that swag. He's got like that like hard nosed team. Like, I feel like that would be like a good landing spot for him, honestly. Like, plus it'd be pretty cool to see Justin Fields in black.
I gotta believe
that black and gold, or the black and silver. He would look really good in that.
I've never been a big fan of the Raiders uniforms.
Oh, dude, black and silver is classic.
Justin Fields is a cool looking guy.
That's what I'm saying.
He passes the eye test. And that's why I think everyone in Chicago is so infatuated with him. I don't know. Does he have a girlfriend?
He's got to have a hot girlfriend. I mean, look at him.
A stud like that.
By the way, Sam Howell was a 5th round pick.
A 5th round pick?
In 2002, yeah.
Oh, 2022.
22, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Just so you know, just the level set for you. But with that being said, the last thing you want to talk about also was the stadium.
Yeah, so people are making it sound like it's a done deal, but after this whole Colin Cowherd situation, I don't really know, but there was these very definitive claims made from this website I don't go to and this guy I don't know, Greg Hins of Cranes, and Chicago business website.
Time out, guys.
What?
Johnny is a doctor and is not a business professional.
Okay.
Cranes is an extraordinarily credible business site. It's literally the leader of all items in Chicago to do with anything business.
But basically, this guy
Cranes is reputable.
Basically, this guy said that the shift is fully the vision is fully shifted to Lakeside.
Then does that not surprise you based upon the press conference that we listened to when he said Chicago's a world-class city?
I agree. We talked about that a couple episodes ago where Kevin Warren definitely made it sound like he had serious interest in Chicago. I really thought that was posturing, though. I really thought that was just trying to leverage the bad situation because they're already in the hole $200 million. I was
going to say,
they're not going to get. If they sell it, they're not getting that back. It's a hole in the ground at this point.
What are they going to do if they do build on the lakefront? Like, what do they do with that land?
I just don't understand like the motivation for doing so. Like every argument I hear about where they should go, the lakefront is just like, yeah, but the skyline. But like, Are the Chicago Bears concerned that people are not going to go to Arlington Heights for their games because there's no skyline there?
I told you, Johnny, every time I go to the stadium, I get blinded because it's just like, wow.
Yeah, but there's not enough room. You can.
I know,
but from a Bears standpoint, this is the one thing where I really want the money to talk because I want Arlington Heights to happen because I want that big mecca like Dallas has.
It'd be great. Well, yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, and I want the money to talk, and I feel like you can make so much more money in Arlington Heights, and I think it's just going to be such a cluster. Trying to shoehorn that into like a small area it's just too sequestered.
Well, you got to knock down the parking garages, and you got to expand on that. Honestly, is what you got to do.
I mean, I just don't see it happening, and they're really reporting it like this is this is it. And I heard some chatter on the radio that they think that the definitive knowledge is going to be dropped sometime soon. Like some rumblings. I mean, that's definitely the rumor mill.
Just off-season talk at that point, in my opinion.
Yes, I mean we'll see, but I don't know. I'm still all in for Arlington Heights. I got but I rewatched the like promo video that they put out in the Lori Lightfoot era.
I was literally gonna say that was a Lori Lightfoot play. Yeah. So does it even count with Brandon Johnson? I
mean, but Brandon Johnson, I feel like kind of reinvigorated these talks, and from a Chicago standpoint, like
what does that remind you of right there?
This right here?
Yeah.
I have no idea what.
Millennium Park.
Oh, Millennium Park. Oh, yeah, like the little amphitheater they have there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Right? Doesn't it remind you of that?
I think a combination of this plus maybe the Sox going in that South Loop, which is even further. But like that could like reinvigorate the South Loop. And I think that's what Brandon Johnson wants. Is like, I need some more money coming into the south side of Chicago.
Well, technically they're already down there at 35th. But yeah, if they were to move to...
But even a bigger stadium, even more money. Like
that would be huge for the Sox.
Yeah.
It's that or they're going to Tennessee.
I honestly could see them going to Tennessee more so than I could see them rebuilding a new ballpark.
It makes sense.
We'll see.
It makes sense to send them to Tennessee.
All right, so I just want to do a quick comment corner, just because on our last video we actually had a couple of comments which we love. So if you're still here, like and subscribe, get us to 100. But some comments. I mean, there's lots of things. This is an exciting offseason, man. Like I was super hyped, like researching all this stuff today. But we got a couple of comments. First one being from I don't know what, but he says trade Fields to Atlanta. We need him so bad. And I said I think he would be a good fit, and I do. I think that's probably my best. When I picture where is Justin Fields going, I think there, or maybe like the Patriots. I feel like that'd be fun too.
No.
But I said if you're willing to cough up the 8th overall for him, take him. Could you imagine?
Before you go, Patriots doesn't make sense because it reminds me of Cam Newton. Cam Newton did not work in.
Belichick's gone now, though.
It doesn't matter. I don't think the Patriots are that type of.
I don't think so either. But
Atlanta makes sense for him.
Isn't Fields from Georgia?
Yeah, he's from Georgia.
Yeah,
the northern part of Georgia. You're right. Yeah, he went to high school there.
I could see
UGA. He needs transferred.
And then JD's Bourbon and Barbecue says,
nice.
Gave the like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, JD. Appreciate it. I checked out your videos. I think I'm going to have like that chicken that was like... There's some good chicken videos, and I also asked him if he's got any recommendations for a good bourbon for old fashions for sipping at home.
He's got 2,000 followers.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself. He said, FFS, keep Fields, build around what you know you have. Going to Vegas to draft number one is just stupid. I think when he says going to Vegas is like kind of like gambling.
Yeah, I got it.
But to my response, I said, what we know we have is a guy who threw for over 300 yards only once this year.
Yeah, and that's the only time in his entire career.
Yeah, is that true?
That's true.
Oh man.
Don't remember Jeff Dahlberg dropped us that.
I think that is true. Yeah. All right. So that's all I got for this week. You know, a couple days out from the Super Bowl, we're going to drop a Super Bowl video in a day or so to kind of talk about what we're betting on. And just a teaser for that video, Kevin, I'm going to make some bets on the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say a couple $100.
Oh wow!
And this is my last sports bet ever.
Oh.
Last day of sports betting ever. I'm putting that out there right now.
Never again?
Never again. This is going to be it. And we'll talk about more in that video. And if you want to see what we're betting on, like and subscribe. We'll see you in a couple days.
Peace.
Later.